Oh, who's going to get it into turn one? Breather gets away well. Can the Williams challenge? Yes, they will on the inside. They get a lovely start. It's going to be neck and neck into turn one. Round the outside, they carry the momentum, but here comes the Williams back, but there's contact between the two. Blake will go through. How about that? Really well done to Blake, but Geisler unfortunately missing out. Gilly maintains P4, so does Ben in P5. And that's Gary up to P6, but issues further behind with Tommy Gunn. Unfortunately losing out a little bit there. We got this Vale making absolute moves in P7. That was a mega from them side by side, as that's Lalek trying to hold on, but Robbo's gone to the inside line. Lalek's backed out and Robbo's made the move. That is big ballsy, but he's managed to get it done. Blake is still there. Who's that dropping down the order? It's Heisler. Heisler's round. More problems. I do not believe it. Going from second on the grid down to P11. Once again, I don't know if that was contact between the two, if that was just a mistake. These hard tires are very difficult to get used to on the opening lap, of course, so that might be why, but yeah, not ideal. And unfortunately Reese finds the hot tires after that initial spin.
Gilly and Ben having an epic battle here for the podium position now, as obviously Heisler made a mistake. Ben and Gilly, Ben made the move into Spoon, and he goes diving down the inside into the last corner. He pushes Gilly a bit wide, but here comes Gary on the inside. Ben slips around the outside of Gilly, and now Gary's going to get the good exit. Gary came out of nowhere. He's going to be using the battery alongside Ben. Is he going to get past? Yes, he does. He gets past Ben. Gary P5 to P3 like that. Ben's getting swarmed on the straight by Gilly, and now Robbo is coming down the inside for P5, and Gilly is the big loser of all that, going from P3 to P6. Gary somehow managing to make his way through, and Ben still being frustrated in P4. He can't find a way.
On the start-finish straight, will this be a move for Blake? They were so close earlier on. He wants to try and get into that lead sooner rather than later. Otherwise, I thought it'd probably drop back a little bit. Is he going to push for it? He is pushing for it. He's got the DRS, but no, he can't actually find a way. He's not close enough, and Breezer is an absolute menace in a straight line. That is a very, very powerful Ferrari right there, and a very good setup we have. A good exit for Robbo here, and a bad exit for Benjamin, as Robbo now might have a go despite the double DRS. Are they going to push for it? I think they will, but Benjamin has got the advantage. He would either have to send it or back off, and he backs off. I think that's the wiser option of the two. Into the hairpin. We're not going to see any sends. He's trying to take a little bit of a wider line, Blake, to try and get a better exit. Is it going to be possible here? No, it's not. They go onto the grass, and they're going to lose it. That could be a turning point in the race. They were looking so rapid at the start, and now Breezer might have a chance here to run away and relax. This is Vale is going to have maybe a look at Gilly. No, Gilly is just a rocket ship. They need to get on the phone to Elon Musk, because they could go to Mars within the next few months.
He's backing off for now. He might go into the Castle Triangle, but I doubt it. He might just wait for the straight, although it's very difficult to overtake. It goes down the inside into the Castle Triangle. This is his chance to get ahead of Benjamin. The switchback is available just a bit, but those hard tyres don't have enough traction at the moment in terms of in comparison to the mediums, and he just can't find a way past at the moment. Ben being a big blockade in the McLaren. Well, not really blockades, but this DRS really hampering. As Ben's gone wide! Ben's gone wide! He's come back onto the track. He's going to use the momentum from being off the track, but he can't seem to... Yep, no. I don't know what I'm saying.
Can't seem to find a way, but that is now Robbo ahead, and he's going to have an absolute headache, of course, on that medium tyre, the faster tyre. He wants to stay ahead, but no, he's made more mistakes, and he's into the grass. No. Benjamin, last week's race winner, is now going to find himself losing positions to the cars behind, going to try and stay ahead. He manages to do so, takes the racing line, but that's not ideal. Those medium tyres, they're dying off a little bit sooner than I would thought. I do want to have a quick look at the front as Blake loses the car. I was just going to say the gap's closed up, but no, it hasn't. He loses the car. I don't know what just happened there. I think they've just had more issues. I wanted to say Blake was too far behind, just trying to save on that ERS because they had none to begin with. They closed the gap, and all of a sudden, maybe they pushed the car a bit too hard, and Blake loses 7 seconds to Breezer now. What the hell? Robert, this time, not any closer than he was on the last one, and Gary, all of a sudden, maybe he's actually on the hard tyre, and we just can see a little bit of desync, but nope, this time he makes a mistake, unfortunately, on the exit, and take everything back. I look like a bit of an idiot now. I was speaking facts, but there was just a bit of a mistake there from Gary. That does allow Robbo to go through, and Gary's going to have a big headache because Robbo's now unleashed into clean air. His tyres will now not be risking overheating, and he's just going to be a rocket in a straight line. Of course, a straight is where you make most overtakes, so it's going to be impossible. Breezer going into the pit lane. It's not unheard of. Actually, this is the pit window, I should say. Lap 12 to 15 if you really wanted to extend it. So, yes, at this stage it is grit, but earlier on I think it was just about tyre temperature. Many people into the pit lane. Gilly, of course, following. Blake followed as well. We have Gary in. Robbo, Vale. Not Gilly, sorry. Gilly's not pitting. They're on the hards. They're going to get that clean air. Benjamin wants to go a lap more. Try and maybe wait for a safety car. It might be an idea because everybody's going to be waiting on these tyres. They're going to be a little bit more tricky to drive with. So in theory, it could work, but it's definitely a big gamble. But with the gap that he unfortunately has, it's worth a shot as Blake is getting challenged by Niffo. Niffo having a look in the S section. That's going to be really painful for Blake, but he couldn't really do anything. Niffo just got so... well, their tyres are completely switched on. They got the temperature, everything that they need. Into the pits he goes, onto that medium tyre, hard tyre, and he will be good to go to the end of the race. He's not going to have any problems. Gilly, however, he is going to be absolutely rapid. Blake, unfortunately, as we speak, gets himself a 3-second. They have to hope that Breezer does it.
On those fresh medium tyres, is he going to go for the move down the inside? He's got the straight line speed advantage, he's got the tyre advantage. Probably the ERS advantage too, as he's fast in the straight line, literally everyone, especially Elon Musk's rocket ship, and he's up into P5. So Gilly is going to be on the charge now for a podium. Coming into the spoon curve now, up the inside, it's really tight, thin margins here as Robbo hooks it right around the outside and able to protect the position. This is Vale, is probably going to be using ERS, he wants to get ahead of Robbo at the moment. Robbo, it doesn't look like he's going to defend too much, he's going to let him go. Maybe going into 130R? No, he backs off, he thinks much better of it.
They want to push, but they can't because there's a Haas in the way. And then it gets to the straights, and Benjamin's mistaken as contact as that's Niffo goes into the back of him. I don't believe it. No way. Once again, Ben losing the car a little bit too much. The car can't cope with the high-speed corner at Dunlop, and that's them going to lose that train. Gary all of a sudden now has no pressure behind them, and that's brilliant news for their 5-second time penalty. Niffo, I don't know if they got away with damage there, but there was a little bit of contact. This time they get close, but they make a mistake, so they're going to get the DRS, but once again they don't have the ERS to push, so they need to do it on the brakes. They get a good exit, but it's equalised by the energy usage of Gary, of course. So Nifo's got to either make the move now or leave it completely because, yeah, they don't really want to make it cause an issue later on. But Gary goes off the circuit at turn 2 and loses the position anyway. They still could gain from this, of course, but if Gilly was smart, he would let Niffo go because he's just all of a sudden found himself a bit of a gap between himself and the car behind. But yeah, Gilly looking in a pretty good position. Niffo got a free move there. Looking at the top 2 though, as we are coming towards the final few laps of the Grand Prix. Blake in P2 at the moment. They're in DRS range. They can still try and fight for this win here in Suzuka. Breezer struggling for ERS as Blake does make a mistake as they exit Spoon. Unfortunately, it's going to lose them a run, but it's not enough, and they will get the DRS here as we head to the final lap of the Grand Prix. Breezer's trying to make it a second win this season, and Blake is as well. Is it going to be possible? Blake gets the DRS. Will they be able to catch anything? No, not right now, but they are so quick in the first sector, Blake. They will have an extreme advantage on the throttle. Keep it smooth. Keep it steady. I know that heart's racing, but don't get greedy at this stage of the race. It's the final few sectors to go. You can see he's gaining so much, got the confidence in the car. I don't know what's going to happen here on the X of the Dunlop. That's amazing. Amazing from Blake. Breezer is looking in a bit of trouble. Once again, so much confidence. Are we going to see a move into the hairpin? No, we're not, as he goes onto the curb, loses the car, and he's going to have to back off. After all of that, takes the wider entry to try and get a good exit once again, but no, Blake is out of the race on the final lap of the race. I do not believe what I've just seen. Once again, makes a mistake as we saw in Imola, and that's now Robbo up to P3, out of P2, and Gilly is fighting for the podium positions after all. Gary drops behind, and I don't think they're going to be able to actually challenge after all of that as well. They're way too far behind Gilly. Breezer has got the final few corners to go. It was looking close just a second ago, but now it's not. It's looking easy. Breezer's coming around the final few corners, and he's going to make it 2 in the EU Championship. Breezer wins the Japanese Grand Prix. How about that? This is Vale takes a P2. Great comeback from Neymar. Robbo, an amazing drive today as he takes P2 for the EU drivers. Nifo is going to get to P4 after all of their struggles today. Gilly, with the absolute mega strategy, going to piss the entire grid off, but he will take that P5 in the end. Breezer takes the win for the EU tier, and then we have This Is Vale in P2. Robbo takes P3. We've got Nifo, Gilly, Gary, Benjamin, Egapro, Larlet, Geisler, and Blake in P11. And DNFing earlier on was Tommy Gunn and Reese. Fastest lap also goes to Hajler as well.